All right. There we go.
Good Al Zoidberg.
That's going to bring us to Riot.
Okay. I don't think Riot has a lot of good options here. Do I have any ranged weapons? I don't think that I do.
I still have a few poison bolts left.
With a ghost name on it.
I think Riot's just gonna try and rape here. Just
Okay.
join in the fun.
Although would a glass bolt shatter on a ghost?
15 AC?
Does not hit.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah, Riot's giving it a try, but not really working out for her.
That brings us to Ferocity.
Riot just looks over at Nath and says, "What are we doing here?"
Why did we think this is a good idea?
Nath like this.
I hate it here too! Let's go with that that good shot again. No.
Yeah.
Goes wide. Hits the wall behind
Goes wide.
Nath. Nath, you're up.
Draw 2 daggers out, and there's no reason not to just at this point. Melee attack with the first one.
Okay.
That'll hit an armor class of 22.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage.
For 4 damage, bonus action melee attack with an offhand light weapon.
Okay.
That'll hit an armor class of 23.
And you hit the mirror image instead.
Okay.
You're the only one who knows that.
Moving or staying put?
That's the end of Nath's turn.
Okay, it's going to bring us to Liberation.
Yeah, let's burn through some more mirror images. Why don't we?
Riot's counting on her fingers like, "Wait, hang on a second."
Something's not right here. 18 to hit.
18 will hit.
So 9 damage. Save Constitution DC's 17.
Fail. 16.
Stunned.
And the ghost is stunned.
Advantage time.
All of its invisible mirror images are also stunned.
Ooh.
It's just
Oh,
got
wow.
40 of them. It's fine.
So that was a nat 20 right there. So let's do 9 more damage to him.
9 more. Okay.
Yep. And we'll expend another key point to Flurry of Blows. Let's see. The 1 and the 3 is a big old butt, but the 17 here is gonna hit. So that's gonna be 8 damage on that.
Okay, then moving or staying put?
Staying put.
Alright, ghost cannot move. It's stunned. Which brings us back to Kelian.
Did I hear the ghost is stunned?
Yes, I did. Yes, you did. You
I
heard that
couldn't even
correctly.
venture a guess as to how that actually works, but you just see the mask just frozen, slumped in place. So from your perspective, you're basically shooting at Nath.
Got it.
And hoping there's a ghost in the way.
Are you though? Is Kelian really hoping there's a ghost in the way?
Either way.
Yeah, sharpshooter this shit.
Alright.
Yep. What?
Try again.
Incredible.
Is it even worth? I don't even think it's worth blowing the bardic inspiration.
No.
You unlucky?
I want to save it though.
It's going to be
Okay.
less lucky. You've already burned 2, and we're just at the start here.
And Nath,
I feel like
for the second time in as many seconds, crossbow bolt comes whizzing by and clatters off the wall behind you.
I feel like for as many times as Kelian misses it, one of those has got to be deliberate. And, like Aunt Nancy's watching, and he's just got to be like, "Oh, that's clearly deliberate, right? Yeah, like, all right, yeah."
Moving or staying put?
I'm staying put and pouting in my corner.
Alright, Riot.
Yeah.
You get advantage on your attack. The ghost
Oh, it is my
stunned.
turn. Okay.
It is your turn.
Okay.
Good.
A 21.
21 will hit.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh lord. 3 damage.
3 damage. Okay.
Comedy of errors up in here.
And you feel your blade strike something.
Yeah. Riot's feeling all right. She did more damage that round than Kelian.
Ferocity, you're up.
All right, let's go for it again.
Hey.
Here's that 20.
Kelian is so mad, you guys.
Just
Check out the bards doing it for themselves.
Sundays are for the bards. That's that's 30 fire and piercing damage.
I do at least 19 damage when I connect.
give me the piercing first, then the fire.
Okay, well, I'm gonna assume that the fire is just the bonus. So the piercing would be. Sorry. 24 of that,
Math is hard.
Okay.
and then the fire is 6,
is 6.
and it's all magical.
Yeah, you're the only one in the room with a magic weapon at the moment. Okay.
Yeah, I'm really good. I'm level 7.
And moving or staying put?
I'm good.
You like your little corner
Good
back
here in
there?
the corner, cowering.
Nath, the crossbow bolt just came flying at you and actually stuck into the ghost in front of you, the stunned specter.
It's right there, where the crossbow bolt is.
Thanks, Ferocity.
Throw a beach towel over it so we can all see it.
I'll go ahead and make a attack with a melee dagger.
Okay,
It'll hit an armor class of 26.
that's good.
Nath, why are you using magic? Clearly, your calling is knifing people.
6 damage, offhand attack with a light weapon.
Okay,
That'll hit an armor class of 13.
13 misses. And liberation.
And yeah, until the end of my next turn, he's done. So, hiya! It's punching time. Thank God for that advantage. 18? Yes? No?
18 hits.
Let's see. 7 plus 11 is 18 damage, all told there. And yeah, that's it. Staying put.
Okay.
I'm down to 3 key points. I got to pace myself here.
You got a whole dungeon after this, so...
I know exactly.
Got 12 more spells.
The ghost of LC
play every single
Clone
one.
turns his attention back towards liberation,
Of course he does.
who is doing the bulk of the damage at the moment. How many hit points do you have left?
No comment.
Well,
39.
39? Okay. Because he gets a lot of attacks, so if the first one puts you down, the other 3 will kill you.
And then we'll have to fight 3 liberations.
Right. So I've got an 18,
That hits.
26,
That also hits.
23,
That also hits.
and a 17.
That
Let's
also
see if I
hits.
can take off that 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to take off the 18.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Sundays is for the bards.
Right, you give me yours first.
Take 12 off that 17.
Okay, so that's going to miss.
That's
And
no-
ferocity?
Take 3 off the 18.
That puts it down to a 15, which misses as well, so I'm only hitting twice.
All right. All right, here come the Fists of Fury.
The Fists o' Fury.
13 points of force damage,
Alright.
plus 5
26.
points of necrotic damage.
21.
As the blows come out fast and furious, but only 2 of them land.
Okay.
That's going to bring us to Kelian. Kelian, can you be the guy right now? Can you do it?
Liberation's looking a lot less hale and hearty than before.
Well, you had to tank in this fight.
I did.
Let's sharpshooter.
Okay.
Because why not? Not stunned, right? It's just regular.
No,
roll.
he's not stunned.
Oh,
Where'd that come from?
I don't know.
Oh, you know what?
But
The
that is
dice
a-
probably thought you were rolling at advantage, and it thought it was giving you a 1 and a 9.
That makes sense to me.
Right, that's 8 right there. Okay.
You actually hit the ghost. You didn't hit the mirror image. God, how funny would that have been?
That is 48 damage.
48 damage, and the mask falls limply to the ground.
Nice job, Kelian.
Liberation takes a step forward, stepping directly on the mask.
So, Riot, just so you don't get too jelly, I gave Ghost Elsie Clone the ability to regenerate 1 mirror image at the beginning of each turn.
Okay.
Started out
something
with a
had to be
standard 3, and then Liberation burned those real fast, and then it got 1 every turn after that.
Oh, I get it. He had a mirror image because he had many faces. It's a metaphor.
Right? Can you do something about this door?
Which door?
The door on the way in? The one I'm standing next to?
Instead of
Try to just
doing
pick it
anything about
first?
that, Riot calls out to the Arcanoloth, who she presumes is watching. It's like, "Hey, we passed your stupid test."
And these doors here open up, opening into the space beyond. And you see the Arcanoloth approaching. And in his arms, he's bearing several large scrolls, and he looks rather pleased.
Glare at this Arcanoloth. Not fucking funny, by the way. As he steps to the door.
To which he responds, "It wasn't intended as a joke."
Yeah,
We
no,
might be related. Please don't kill me.
I
What
know
did-
you're a cruel son of a bitch. Yeah, no, I got that.
What did Liberation do with that mask?
I stepped on that. I stepped on it as I walked through the door.
I'm gonna collect my thrown daggers.
Sure. I mean, one of them you have to get your foot on this
Yeah.
somewhat decaying stone Genasi and wrench it out of her flesh. But yeah, you can have it back.
One of them you have to rip out of nothing.
And the Arcanoloth does not presume to sit in this chair, standing up on this large dais. The chair is empty. In fact, he's standing right in front of you guys. He's kind of like right here in front of where Liberation is standing.
Okay.
And he says that you've exceeded his expectations, that most mortals, when put into a situation like the ones you were put into repeatedly, would have simply been crushed.
We seen some shit.
And Ferocity nods.
Shall we talk?
He asks why you've come aboard the Relentless.
I wanted to see you on even terms. I didn't like the way that we were talking last time.
And he says that's not what I meant. And he gives you a look like you know that's not what he meant.
Right. Because I want to know what you meant when you said we had interests in common.
He addresses the whole group and he asks. He actually takes a special interest in Ferocity's answer because she publishes a brochure about the worst things in the multiverse. She asks, what is the most ferocious and dangerous monster imaginable?
Well, there's this guy I knew named Diller once.
Yeah, most dangerous man in Sigil.
And as he's asking this question, it's a walk and talk. The scene is directed by Aaron Sorkin. He's walking back out towards the front door, where you see the front doors that Nath was standing next to. Mezzoloth on the other side have lifted the bar and pulled the doors back open. So now looking out onto the deck, got to move some dice out the way. He's walking out onto the deck, out towards this giant circular block of ice, like a glacier sticking out of the top of the Relentless. But he's interested to hear what the answer to the question is. What is the most ferocious and dangerous monster imaginable?
Complacency.
He says,
Peep.
it's not a metaphor, dear. I speak of a physical monster.
I'm trying to think of what Riot. The worst thing Riot can come up with is the dragon turtle.
The dragon turtle?
Yeah.
I'm a bard. Everything's a metaphor.
I would imagine something that can think and reason for itself. To
An illithid.
To
Just one
strategize its
illithid?
approach.
Come on,
Any
Nath, you
number of
can think bigger.
illithids.
You can think bigger than that.
No,
Kelian-
he's right. A lot of illithids is terrible.
Kelian looks at his associate's size and rolls his eyes and says, clearly it's an Arcanoloth.
And he chuckles. He admits that he enjoyed your answer the most.
Of course he did.
But yeah, he comes
I'm
out.
being-
The Lady of Pain.
She's not a monster.
I'm being serious. An entire race dedicated manipulating both sides of the blood war for no other reason whatsoever that they can. That's pretty evil to me.
And you're just flattering him.
I know. I know.
Yeah. Do you guys
Doesn't make
wanna
any
go
less
alone?
true.
He says, imagine a monster. Ancient, beyond reckoning, so that no mortal or immortal life alive remembers its birth. The powers themselves, perhaps, don't have recollection. But this monster doesn't feed on flesh and blood. It eats doorways. It consumes portals.
Lady of Pain. Frosty looks to the side.
And he unfurls one of the scrolls that he's holding as he stands in, not the shadow, there's no shadows on Acheron, but as he stands beneath this giant glacier, he says, this beast exists, and the Relentless has captured it. And your job, when you accept it, will be to help me tame it.
It's in that ice there.
He nods.
Riot says, well, you know, there's a guy I know who knows a lot about taming beasts. But you've locked him up somewhere.
I hear he has
Jesus.
animal handling.
Ah. You speak of the unruly Genasi.
That's certainly a polite way of describing him.
He shows you the scroll. And I had an image saved on Imgur, but it's gone now, so I guess we'll just put it on a tablet. Actually, this one's better than the one that I had. It's a drawing of the beast's current form. Current, I mean, as of a century or two ago. I feel like Imgur does just randomly delete images sometimes. I could have sworn I uploaded this for this
Yeah,
specific
they do.
task.
I think if you keep
Like, if
calling
it-
this thing the Beast, you better not let Mahogany look at it.
I would assume it's some copyright thing if they delete it, because my images are gone too sometimes.
And this is what's drawn on the scroll.
Oh, fuck off!
A house on
A
legs.
bizarre house on giant chicken legs, ringed in a fence with skulls.
Captured a house?
Kelian gives a shifty-eyed glance to the Arcanal, like, really?
And, like,
I want to make a history check, and the reason I took history is because I'm kind of flavoring it as bardic lore,
Okay,
and this seems like something that would have.
sure. Go ahead and make it. This house has been walking around the multiverse for hundreds and hundreds of years. If anybody's heard about it, it's a
Whoop.
bard of the College of Lore.
No,
No.
I mean 10.
He says the creature has unimaginable power, and its destructive capabilities are unrivaled by man or beast or even immortal. but it has no mind. It requires a controller, a master, if you will. And for many centuries, many aeons, the master of this creature was a particularly foul night hag. Which is why the Relentless was not interested in it until recently, when the night hag was killed, and the creature found a new master. And he furls the scroll back up and turns back to the ice. He says, "We bided our time, and after a number of decades, the corrupting power of this creature overwhelmed the mortal fool who sought to take control of it. And so, in its weakened form, we have taken control of it." And he seems very proud of himself as he's listing off his accomplishments.
Now, hang on there. You say you've taken control of it, but then you're asking us to tame it. So how much control of it do you actually have here?
Not so much that we have thawed the ice yet. He says that he's thrown considerable manpower at the thing when they first brought it on board the Relentless. That they sent some number of Mesoloth and Nikoloth parties inside, and they did not return. He thinks what has happened, and this is only speculation, but Arcanoloths love to speculate, so this scene's going to take 3 hours. He says he thinks what happened is that this creature exudes a corrupting force. Any lives that come in contact with it are changed immeasurably, although sometimes not right away. He thinks that the sorcerer that attempted to control this thing became absorbed into it. And that if he could only but do a little surgery, remove that minor controlling element, think of it like a tumor on the inside of the beast, and thus removed, he would be able to go in and exert control for the Relentless. And this is the task he places to you.
What can you tell us about the creature you're looking to excise?
He says that he's a mortal spellcaster, dragon-blooded. He, I would assume, at the height of his youth and power, he would be no match for the likes of you, who have crawled across Acheron, who have bent the bugbears to your will, who have traveled the far reaches of prime material space, who have resisted incredibly powerful arcane summonings, and who have bested your dead friends in combat without flinching.
Now you're just flattering us.
So that's all really pretty, but you still haven't answered my original question, which is how does our interest coincide with what you want here?
He says he understands that you have a particular interest in the life of the sorcerer himself, the details of which do not concern him. So here is his proposition. You figure out a way to go inside of the hut, find your sorcerer, free him, kill him, whatever you want to do. Once his control is removed, I will take the hut, aboard the Relentless, make it a part of this vessel, and I will return to you your Genasi. And as he says this, he fishes a shining bluish-green stone out of the folds of his robe, holding it in his hand, turning it over and over between his thumb and forefinger.
We're outside on the deck right now. There's no longer the anti-magic.
That's correct. But there
Can
are
I have
a
something?
lot of warlocks with counterspell standing around.
Yeah.
I don't have a Genasi.
When we go into this hut, are we still going to be on Acheron? Do you know anything about the conditions in there?
He says, inside of this beast, you will be walking in no known plane. In the bowels of the monster, being digested slowly over thousands and thousands of years, are many doors to many places.
So you don't know. Okay.
You won't be on Acheron. You won't be on any known plane.
Yeah, but I asked him what the conditions are, and he clearly doesn't know.
Make an insight check.
Okay. Okay, let's see what his Riot's insight is. That's a 16.
There's something about the conditions of the hut that he finds particularly unsettling, and it's a point of pride that he's not speaking them.
Huh.
Does the name Aunt Nancy mean anything to you by any chance?
And he tells you he's not heard it before.
Fair enough.
I don't need to roll insight to figure out if he's lying to me. He's telling the truth.
You can if you want. But I'm not going to
You
tell
go
you if
on.
you believe him or not.
Wow. Look, where did that die go? All right. Sure.
There it is. Hey.
That's a ridiculous number, because that is a 29.
Whether you believe him or not is up to you. But what you get is just he has nothing but contempt for changing the conversation this part into it. He is not interested in discussing anything Aunt Nancy related.
Fair enough.
Riot says, look, you've sent people in, and you've not gotten anybody out. And I'm proposing that we go in, and we're going to do that, but you need to tell us what it is that scares you about this place. If you want us to have an actual shot at giving you control of this thing.
He looks Riot up and down, and she's holding her
Liberatia's bristling a little bit. But
she's holding her rapier in one hand and her broken guitar in the other.
Yeah.
And she's wearing her armor. He says, shall you set aside your armor, your weapons, place them aside, allow yourself to be blindfolded and led into the bowels of this relentless, a place where you've never been, which is filled of things you can't kill, and which could overpower you. He says, this is why this creature is dangerous.
what's to say that whatever forces that subjugated the man inside won't turn on you and catch hold?
I don't think either of us cares about that, Liberation.
He says that he is considerably more wise and careful than a foolish mortal sorcerer.
Yeah, Kelian audibly chuckles at that.
He's driving a tank that can grant spells to warlocks. He's not worried about this hut getting into his head.
All right, we'll
I'm
go in
not
tomorrow.
saying,
We
I'm
need
just
to
saying.
rest after your test.
Yeah.
He nods. He says quarters will be made available. He asks if you would, and this is your decision as a group, he asks if you would like to avail yourselves of a sort of magical protection that he's able to offer you.
Oh?
He says he can offer you a way, once you're inside, to exit the hut, regardless of situation or circumstance, regardless of any planner or magical quirks of the place that might prevent teleportation.
So would punch through anti-magic?
He nods.
Punch through a planar lock?
Riot suddenly has a real bad idea where this is going. But
Okay,
says,
but
yeah,
the catch is
Yeah, what's the catch?
The catch is that he'll summon you the same way he summoned Riot before.
And he says, my friend, a trivial summon spell such as that wasn't able to get through whatever small protections you had aboard that gnomish craft. How would it punch through anti-magic?
I'm assuming you're using a stronger version.
No, what I
No,
offer
he's got
is-
an item.
And
Am I right? You've got an item.
he's holding the gem in his hand. And he says, while you're resting, we can perform a minor, mostly painless ritual that would mark you all to the Relentless. Temporarily, of course. Everything can be undone after the success of your mission. But know that availing yourself of this egress, making use of this panic button, will consume the stone that holds your friend. And he will be lost for all time.
That's no deal.
Yeah.
No,
We'll find a way out on our own if
that's
need be.
not a start.
And he flicks the stone and catches it midair like it's a quarter, puts it back in the folds of his robe.
Liberation is literally like hold me back right now.
Can't you just get like a different stone?
And he admires your connection to your friend. And he assures you that no harm will come to him. The place he's in is dull, but not dangerous.
That's dangerous for him.
He comes out. He's
And-
completely
and-
insane. No one can tell the difference.
Liberation says, it actually might be good for him. A little while.
Like
Putting him in cosmic timeout.
like a cold shower. So I just realized I completely destroyed his gangplank over here when I when I cut pasted this map. Oh well. He does. He gives you quarters to stay in. These are over here inside the Relentless. These 5 large rooms here.
Mm-hmm.
So these 4 smaller rooms, these are the cells where Riot and
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, no, these are them back here. This tiny row of 5 of these.
Mm-hmm.
And so these
We're
rooms
staying.
here are your quarters. You can split them up however you want. Are you guys doing anything but taking the rest? Like, are you casting any spells or...
Yeah, so I'd say
Oh,
they're,
absolutely.
anti-magic?
they're in the anti-magic, right?
No. After you leave this first entryway,
Oh.
field is
Okay.
no longer applicable.
Yeah, give me a second to look at my prepared spells.
I'm going to go ahead, and I know it's not going to be as effective as normal, but I'm going to at least pop off an Aura Vitality,
Okay.
just so that people don't have to spend quite as many hit dice.
The way that works is just... It's a flat half
Yeah, half.
damage.
Yeah, I figured.
Or half healing, rather.
Whoa, hey. What happened there?
After we go into the rooms, Ferocity goes off for a moment on her own into a room, and then you guys hear.
Here's why this is terrible. At the beginning of the session, Nodal's like, oh, I didn't really have time to write a whole thing. I made this little brochure, but I didn't have time to do the whole write-up. But he had time to select 12 anime songs, which tells
What do you
me...
think I was using my time for?
Like, it tells me he already had the songs at hand and knew them well enough to know what his selections were going to be.
And then the Ferocity that you all know and love comes out of the door after she casts Disguise Self.
So I've got 64 HP to play with.
Liberation needs more than that.
I'm full up.
You can have 50 of those Liberation. That's my gift to you.
Kelian,
Yeah.
what do you do with Mrs. Fluffybottom during this time? At every available opportunity, unless you do something, she is just clinging with all of her claws on some part of your body. Like as a strange hat or chest piece or something.
And yeah, that's fine. Kelian's used to that, but he would also... Kelian is the type to be incredibly nosy right now. So during the long rest, he would just go out of his room and generally observe the area
Ferocity says,
while petting Mrs. Fluffy Bottom.
Okay.
Trying
"Don't worry,
to calm her down.
Kelian. I can help you with that. But I'm going to need Mrs. Fluffy Bottom to make me a charisma saving throw.
What are you doing to her?
Calm emotions.
Calm emotions? Let me see if that even works on Acheron.
It doesn't matter because I have to cast a spell no matter what, so...
I'm expecting one of these just randomly be like 80s hair metal out of nowhere. Just
I would be okay with this.
11 anime songs and then like AC/DC or something.
I would be okay with this.
So you cast Calm Emotions, and the claws don't come out of your body, but she's not howling as much anymore.
I think it's working.
Where are you
Ferocity.
wandering to?
Well, these are the these are the rooms we're staying in, right?
Technically, these four, because this one here opens up on the other side.
Oh, okay. So these four.
Yeah.
I mean, Kelian would just wander around here.
And
I hate to ask this, but who is Ferocity staying with?
Ferocity is staying with Riot, of course.
Okay.
As if you had to ask that question.
Kelian, there's never a time when you walk out in the open that you're not under the watchful eye of someone. Normally, it's a Mezzoloth patrolling the area, or a Nikoloth, which is the other foot soldier of the Yugoloth. I forget what they represent. Let me make sure I don't get it wrong, just in case you want to fight one.
Nah, I got Mrs. Fluffy Bottom to deal with.
But if you try to leave this area, they take a great interest in what you're doing.
Nah.
Oh yeah, they're dog people with like giant crazy bat wings.
No, Kelian ain't starting shit. If we're gonna go into a magic hut and remove a tumor or whatever, he's gonna need all the strength he can get.
Okay.
So,
Actually,
after picking a quarter, Nath immediately sets about setting it up as a private sanctum.
Okay.
The
Riot
Riot
is-
joins Nath in there.
And Riot's doing what?
oh, I want to go check on Chinax, see what's up with her.
And I mean, are you physically going to try to find her, or are you just asking around?
Both, I guess.
I mean, asking around, any Yugoloths you ask are playing dumb. I mean, they tell you they don't know who you're talking about and give you a knowing smile.
Then I'll walk around and try and find her.
Okay. And as soon as you leave, like, the immediate area around this chair, you have an escort. A Mezzoloth with his polearm, his horrible-looking demonic fork. Two of them coming up alongside you, just to make sure you don't get lost. You know, they wouldn't want you to...
Sure.
There's a lot of sharp edges and things on the Relentless.
And yeah, and I'll ask them, hey, if you, I'm actually looking for something in specific. Maybe you could help me find it. Talks about Chinax.
Okay. Make me an intelligence investigation check.
Okay.
And I'm going to take 2 minutes real quick and run and hit the head.
Actually,
And then I will come
Riot,
back and we will resolve that check.
Yeah.
Ferocity's trying to stick to you as much as possible, and she's willing to help. And I have a
Okay.
really good investigation check.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm helping you then.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. We'll do it that way. Because yeah, that's good. Mine's kind of busted. I've got only +2.
I'm gonna grab some water.
Well, that's not super great of a roll. Maybe if I had some Bardic Inspiration.
Yeah, but I'm helping you. Did you roll at advantage?
Oh, right, yeah. Sorry. That's much better. 15.
Okay. Actually, I probably could throw some bardic inspiration on that. Let's do that.
So
Okay,
19.
19. Yeah.
19 is pretty good. Considering
Solid.
it cost us no resources that we're not going to get back when we take a nap.
Right.
All right, how'd that investigation check go?
19.
19. What you gather is that Chinax, who had taken several wounds before you managed to dimension door her away, was taken below decks on the Relentless.
Okay.
And the Mezzoloths that you're with don't allow you to go anywhere below decks. I mean, when you approach the stairs heading for that direction, the way they phrase it is, I mean, that's not a place where honored guests
Right.
would like to see, that kind of thing. Do you attempt to muscle past them and go down anyway?
No, but once I am back in my room, I'm going to cast Ascending to Chinax.
Okay. And there's no response.
All right.
What was that? What spell was that?
That was Sending. Do you not know Sending? It's really useful. But I guess if you don't go off plane as much as I do, it's less useful.
I go off plane too much.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was filling up my water bottle. It was away.
So everybody took the benefit of the long rests?
Yep.
Prepared all your spells for...
I have one thing I want to do before we leave.
Oh, I do get my hit
We're
dice
still-
back for a long rest.
After the long rest, while we're still bundled up in the private sanctum, I would like to cast Legend Lore, targeting that gem.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. It's Legend Lore, not Lehend Lore.
Yep.
Now, what's the goal of the spell? Because it doesn't really count as a legendary object. It's not really of legendary importance.
Everyone knows Mahogany's name.
But what's the goal of the spell? Like, what are you attempting to find out?
The secret lore that has not widely been known. So, I guess it wouldn't work on that, huh?
What you'll get for the legend lore is it's the stone itself, like the physical stone, is the one of the components of casting an imprisonment spell.
Okay.
Well,
So you've confirmed it as genuine. He's not bluffing with the stone.
I'm gonna toss something out here real quick because it's my favorite thing about the spell. A secret component of that gem that is not widely well known would probably be the conditions with which the spell would just come undone.
Which are a total mystery.
Okay.
Now, if Eldove was inside of that imprisonment stone, then it would be an item of legendary importance. Mahogany is just level 15. He's only been around.
If we
for
had the stone, I could cast Identify on it.
do something legendary and it'll work. So that's all.
I mean, I've got another 5th level slot. Should I do a Legend Lore on the hut? Or on Eldove's connection to the hut or something? I'm asking this to the group.
That might not go amiss because we have.
I would do it on the hut.
Yeah.
There's
All
something that the Archon was not telling me, and I couldn't get it out of him.
I've got the components to cast that one more time. I'll burn another 5th and cast Legend Lore on the hut.
Okay, make an intelligence check. Because you did just look at detailed artwork of the hut.
That would be, as a check, be a 16.
Okay. So most of the information you get, and I mean it can get as in depth as you want, really. We don't need to spend all the time rehashing anything, but I mean you learn most of the details about Baba Yaga herself.
Okay.
That she controlled the hut, that it was able to walk the plains unfettered by barriers, portals, anything like that. You learn that she had this legendary scheme to capture death and bargain for permanent immortality. You learn that the hut changes its own form over the centuries. That if you were to visit the hut several decades apart, it would look different on the inside. Various rooms would be missing. Other rooms would appear. if you're very lucky, there is this legend of a room containing 1,000,000 gold pieces. But yeah, Nath gets the functional equivalent of everything you guys learned about Baba Yaga and the hut in the last campaign.
Okay.
Wait, no, 4 million.
Oh yeah, that's right. But one
We
of those rooms, all the wealth was in credit cards, and that's actually true. Like they were literal credit cards, which you really wouldn't be able to spend.
We love you, Ian.
There's not an Old Navy in Sigil. I'm sorry.
No, but you could go into the dungeon.
Okay.
Pick some locks.
So just to recap, the kind of stuff that the hut will do is doors will open to different places depending on how you open them and what you do while you open them. The physical space inside is much larger than the outside. And that no entity is really in control of everything in the hut. There are traps and dangers and sometimes creatures in the hut that the master of the place is unaware of.
Do I get anything about Eldove running the hut?
Let me check my own notes here. I mean, I'm going to leave that up to Nodal, because I don't really know what all Eldove did with the hut.
Elda was using the hut to hop back and forth between planes, and essentially funding people to overthrow evil rulers. So he was essentially the old man in the magic hut, showing up and being like, "Oh, young hero."
He is the goddamn doctor.
Okay. So yeah, what
Last
you learn
question.
is that the master of the hut will change the characteristics of it in terms of what it does and how it attempts to affect history.
And the last question: do I learn that Zook had control of the hut for a short time?
Sure,
This is
why
all a
not?
plan. This is all a plan to get Kelian to that treasure room. I wholeheartedly approve.
Okay. I'll share that with the group.
We just lock the door behind him when we know that Kelian made it. That's all he ever wanted.
Like Fred
Kelian
walking
wants-
the staircase. Like he just finds the room and he just doesn't leave.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about giving Arcanoloths the ability to just open doors and go to wherever they want. This giant.
Yeah,
Fucking
I'm okay with it
tank.
for two reasons. One, it's not like they're going to do anything that isn't related to the Blood War anyway. Blood War is just one long atrocity after atrocity. We're not going to do anything to prove it ever in our lifetimes. I don't think it
fair
can actually be made worse, and that's all the Arcanoloths care about. Second point, if this Arcanoloth thinks he's going to be in control of the hut for longer than, I don't know, 3 or 4 decades, I think he's a bigger fool than he gives himself credit for.
Yeah, those
Also
are
point out they already
those
have
really good
a
points.
mountainous battle tank that can travel between planes.
Also, I know how I feel about dying, and I don't want to.
Remind me
It's not so bad. You'll get
after the
used to it.
session to explain what the Maelder actually is in Planescape lore, what it does in the adventure that I grabbed this map from. 'Cause it's not going to come up in this campaign, but it speaks to the Yugoloth's ability to like control portals and things. So when you guys step out onto the deck the next day, many Yugoloths have been working to thaw out this ice. And you see the hut kind of squatting on the deck, listing to one side, except it's not... it doesn't resemble the picture that you were shown. It looks like it's made of stone. Like it has battlements in the top, where archers, or more realistically, sorcerers of Scorching Ray, would take up position during a siege. And its legs aren't bird legs. It doesn't look like poultry. It looks like the giant back haunches of a gold dragon.
Is there like a... And Ariet's asking this to Arcanoloth. presumably standing next to her as we're watching it being thawed. Is there like a command word to open that thing up?
And he turns and he speaks the command word, and the door on the front of the hut lists open, and you see only darkness inside. You cannot see anything beyond the doorway.
And the guy who last owned the hut, is he like an asshole?
I just wanted to hear the Arcana Law say, like, what was the phrase? I always forget it. It's like, fly my crazy bird legs or something.
Hey ho!
Hey, my sturdy doors open.
Yeah.
Strong locks.
Hey, my strong blocks, unlock yourselves.
Yeah, my big strong locks, unlock yourselves.
My big strong boys, open up that door.
And here is the first room of the hut as you come inside.
This looks like some 4th edition shit.
Yep.
Do we need to be shrunk down again? Looks like
Yeah,
Look at
wait.
that circle. I
I need
recognize
the
that circle.
debigulator.
We'll debigify you real quick.
No, don't need this asshole.
Screw that guy. There we go.
Yeah, we're just gonna walk away from this and just never see Mahogany again.
All right, and I think that's where we will take our break.
Oh, good. I need to take a break.
Yeah,
Take
I'm
about
getting a
15
little
minutes,
peckish.
get your coffee, get a bagel, whatever. We'll reconvene at 4:20.